I've been thinking about how I want to talk about this because I don't know that I could add much different as far as what I think this means or what my own speculation. There are people with far more knowledge than I do. There's people, yeah, I already got that. There's probably people with far more knowledge than I have, far more like sources than I do. My sources are exactly zero, as far as what's going on, with what's going on. The only thing I have to bring to the table is kind of the stuff that's me. So, this is probably going to be somewhat rambling, but in order to try to give some structure to it, I'm going to essentially break it down into 3 parts. There's going to be my personal fears about the situation, my personal hopes about the situation, because I do have hopes, having thought about it. I'm liking the baby face, I'm glad. I do have hopes. There's coming out of all this stuff. And finally, what it at least means for the channel short term, because it's kind of with how little information we have right now, it's kind of tough to talk about long term. So we can talk about short term. So I got you. As far as my personal fears about the game, I think can be wrapped up by like how bad I think things are for like what this might mean for the channel. I was just watching Datto, and when it comes to doom and gloom stuff, Datto is usually the first person to be like, guys, it's not as bad as you think. It's not as bad as you think. Don't. Yes, we're in a bad spot. We're in bad spots before. He's like the first guy to do that. Today, Datto said, Destiny 2 content creators, you should be worried. And I think he's right. Player retention has already been not great after Lightfall. Not Lightfall. The last one we had that I'm blanking on. The Neopop Wave DLC. No, the one after that. Witch Queen actually was okay. Witch Queen retention was actually okay. I got Nightbot, by the way, in his head. But now for everything to go so much up in the air, to hear that they've been performing so badly, because apparently the reason for these layoffs is they missed their earnings projections by 45%. 45%. That's insanely off. That's how the fuck did you get this so wrong off? Which is probably what Sony was saying. Since Sony is already Lightfall, thank you. Sony was already in a scorched earth policy as far as we are cutting costs, and then suddenly Bungie's like, we're coming in 45% under what we projected. Oh, really? Well, I guess you're not getting nearly as much money next year. Time to cut some shit. And so they did. But Destiny and Bungie are now so in flux. There's so just many unknowns going on that it's like, and I am afraid that this community that I've been a tiny part of for a while now is going to dissolve. I don't talk about it a lot. And there's really only one person outside of my family at this point who has any idea. But before I started hanging out in Twitch and getting involved in the SE community, I was in a bad place, a particularly bad place. I'm still not completely out of it. I'm not going to go into the details of it. That's something I do want at some point go into the details of, but not today. And so to have a community that I could latch onto that was just so welcoming and so helpful, with so many amazing people in it. This community meant a lot, and it still means a lot. It's kind of why even through the dark times, it's still stuck with it. And I am very worried about what's about to happen to it, because it doesn't seem good. It does not seem good. So I'm worried. I'm very, very worried. Because I don't know. Not only do I not know what that means for our community here, I don't know what that means for me personally. So I guess we'll see. I'm hoping for news sooner rather than later, but apparently this seems to have hit everyone like a fucking bomb at Bungie, because they still haven't said shit. Aside from the CEO coming out and being like, God, this was just so terrible. You were the one that signed off on it, fucker. Maybe back off for a minute. So anyway, that's kind of that's where I'm at as far as my fears. So my hopes, the picture that seems to be forming out of what's happened with all of this, and now that there's so many people that are talking to media, is that there is been a super strong disconnect between developer level and executive level at Bungie when it comes to Destiny. That kind of the whole, like, hey, Bungie is more like family kind of thing that we've kind of been led to believe exists there underneath the executive level. That there is that cohesion and that feeling of this is almost family amongst the people that work there, because the people still there are really devastated by this. They're talking to me. They're like, this is awful. These people who I came to care about, that I worked with every day, they're gone. And so, and apparently they've seen this coming on the developer side. They have seen what we have seen. Over monetization, stale game models. They have seen it too. They've seen this coming, and they have told the executive, this is coming. You need to about face. And the executives every time said no. Every time. And the only thing that was going to change their mind, because all they were seeing was, this is the profits that will keep us going and will lead to Marathon taking off, and that will propel us to into the future. The only thing that was going to change was a big ol' hit to the pocketbook to tell them, you've been wrong. Well, it happened. Maybe they'll get the message. Maybe they'll say, oh, fuck. Ooh. Okay, we need to mix it up, because this is 45% under our projections. Oh, shit. Well, we want to keep surviving as a company. No one here wants to preside over a company that tanked itself due to over monetization and due to not being willing to mix things up and care for the single fucking game that was bringing in money. So I guess we need to fix shit. Which you could say there's already evidence of. It looks like the Final Shape and Marathon weren't pushed back because, well, there's not going to be as many people to work on it now. They were pushed back because They were looking like they were going to come out not being what they needed to be, and they said, oh fuck, these need to fucking be home runs, and they aren't right now. The word coming out about Final Shape is people were saying it's good, not great. The Final Shape has to be great, or else people are just going to leave. People are going to say, Destiny, thank you very much for your time. It's time for me to go now. Final Shape has to be great to have a chance of having any sort of retention afterwards. Marathon, apparently Marathon, Bungie invited a bunch of Tarkov streamers internally to play test Marathon. And once they were done play testing, they said, please raise your hand if you would play this game tomorrow. And 0 hands went up. 0. Not a single one of them said, yes, tomorrow I would play this game. So maybe they're getting the clue that, oh, fuck, we're in deep shit, and we now need to make sure that these two things, the Final Shape and Marathon, fucking have to be home runs because we're not doing great. And maybe they will start actually listening to the developers who have been saying, what we're doing right now is not, this is bad for the game. So maybe, hopefully, my hope is that the executives at Bungie see, oh, we've been fucking making massive mistakes and it's biting us in the ass now. Let's about face. And that they turn Destiny more so into what we'd like. So I have hope, because I mean, you'd kind of have to be an idiot. You'd have to have your head stuck in the sand to not see it. But there's plenty of executives who stick their head in the sand. So I guess we'll have to see. So what does this mean for the channel going forward? For right now, same. Rating on weekend, variety until the final week. Variety for Wednesday through Thursday, or Wednesday through Friday rather. And after that, I mean, I'll play whatever comes out for next season, I'll play. I will start off for at least the first 2 weeks. We will be a dedicated Destiny channel again. I don't know after that. If it's going to be a 7-month season, obviously we'll enter back into variety some at some point. I just don't know how much. Do we stop doing raids on Saturday? Are enough people going to stop giving a shit? Or is it going to be the other way around? Are there going to be so many streamers that stop playing that there's only going to be so many streamers that remain around? I've been thinking about it, like what happens after the Final Shape. To be quite honest, the best viewership I ever had, the time where my channel grew the most, was during Curse of Osiris, the DLC no one liked, because streamers overestimated how many people would leave Destiny, so they left Destiny, and the few of us that were left behind saw upticks because there weren't as many streamers to go see and people still want to watch Destiny. Fuck, maybe if I just stick with it, then we'll see some really nice channel growth. I don't know. Could I stick with a game that I'm tired of? Can I reinvigorate myself with this game? I don't know. So much is in the air right now. I will play next season. I will play Final Shape. That is all I've got. And that's as much as I know right now. Eventually, Bungie will come out and give us something. Hey, here's the plan going forward. And then I can more definitively make plans and more definitively kind of let you guys know what's what. But yeah, I think that's about it. Well, that's the thing, that's one thing, Mizad, is this is very recent for me. This is very, very new to me to have kind of a nice little core of people that want to hang out no matter what. This is very new. In the past, whenever I would switch to variety, I would go, like, there were a couple times at my height, which was like 45 concurrent, peaking over 70. This is during Curse of Osiris, where I would go and play something else someday, and I was lucky to have two people. So having, like, pretty much anything I do, I can, if I have a decent stream, I can eke into the double digits, is brand new to me. This is, so again, I can't, since that's so new to me, it's gonna be a minute till I know exactly kind of where to go with it. So, but also I'm also kind of dealing with an issue of kind of my burnout on Destiny feels like it's now affecting gaming at large, and I need to shake that somehow. I don't know how. I don't think I would do very well as a just chatting streamer. So, I either have to find something that makes me passionate again, or somehow shake myself out of the rut. Oh my god, Moose. I'll get you in a sec. So, we'll figure out something. I'm just not sure what. So that's where I'm at. I think you'll find a lot of Destiny streamers kind of having this look right now.